All right, it's here. Fragile. Last chance archery. We got our bow press. Lancaster coming through for the win. This thing got here really quick. We ordered it Friday morning. It's Monday. Let's see what we got. Product catalog. More stuff to buy. Isn't that nice of them? And there it is. It's just that simple. You ain't gotta do nothing to this thing. That's sweet. Check it out, guys. This thing's a lot smaller than I thought. I thought it was gonna be pretty big. It's actually quite small. All right, guys. So this thing does not stand up on its own, so you're gonna have to put some holes in this thing and clamp it down. We're gonna end up with a couple set of holes in this table, because typically you'd probably want it over here on the edge so you could leave your stabilizers down on the bow and you could still work on it. But also, we're also going to put a second set of holes back here in case we ever want to change the limbs, or if we have to let a bow all the way out. You're going to need to put some blocks of wood under it so that you can so that it doesn't shoot out the bottom. Now they do make a limb lock attachment for it, which is probably close to 300 bucks, which ain't necessary. I mean, a couple blocks of wood for the few times you're going to use that feature, and yeah, that's all you got to do. So instead of wasting money on stuff that we're not really going to use that often, we're going to purchase the draw board. That will be something we'll use to set our timing. So first we got to get a bow. So fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, my wife derailed her bow back when it was snowing. She had a big coat on that was unzipped, shot her bow, string popped off. There was an arrow in it, so I don't think it did any damage. It didn't look like it. We didn't see anything. So the arrow did shoot, but the string just jumped off the cam. So we might have to put some blocks of wood under it today. So we're gonna put it right here. Let's see how wide this thing goes. Wow, this thing is slow. I now know why MFJJ has an impact on the end of his. So you can just make this thing electric. But he's also going to be working on a ton of bows. I'm going to be working on my bow, and that's about it, to be honest with you. So it'll be set for my bow, and that's it. But yeah, we're going to mark these holes and drill it so this thing will hold itself up. There we go. So I just brought a couple bolts from home. We're going to get some matching bolts. That one will work. This one will work for today. All right, we got her bolted down. Good enough for today. Check out these fingers. Oh, they gave you some bolts to bolt it down. Funny. Could just use those. That's why you read the directions. Not sure what that one's for. You're gonna have to read the directions. I'm curious what that one's for. They're calling it a draw stop finger, which doesn't make sense because you're gonna have a draw stop on both cams. So what's one gonna do me? That doesn't make sense. Maybe they didn't mean to throw that in there. Draw stop finger. Interesting. We'll put it in the packaging. We're not going to use it today. All right, we got a bow to press. All right, we got a bow back together, boys. That was pretty easy. I did notice this finger was not quite the same as this one. It's just stuff you'll figure out once you get doing this a few times. You'll get used to it, I guess. I heard one guy say that he marked his bolts. He put a mark on here so that you could kind of keep them even. You know, tighten them all the way down, make a mark, and then you can count your revolutions. That way you can make sure your fingers are even. That way you're pressing even. One of these fingers was a little off, so it was kind of putting a little cam lean on it because it was leaning one limb more than the other. So just something to be aware of if you're just getting one of these presses. Marking your bolts could be a good way to do it. I heard one guy say he done it, so I'm going to try that and see if it's a viable option. But yeah, bows back together. Sweet. I don't see anything that's broken. So I guess my wife can get back to shooting her bow. Nice. Well, that was easy enough, guys. This is my last chance easy green. This is our first chance at using it. And it worked out great. That saved us a trip to the bow shop. So we can knock off $20 off the price because we just used $20 worth of it. A few more to go. And this thing is such a simple design. I mean, you know, you see guys building these things. If I was a welder, I definitely would have built one. But to pay someone to weld it, you might as well just buy one that you know is going to work. To have to, you know, source all these pieces and get some guy to build it and hope he does it right, just buy it. I mean, it's really a good price. Lancaster, like I said, they had it here in 3 days, you know, Friday. So it shipped out. I ordered it Friday morning at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Shipped out Friday morning. Yeah, Saturday. Sunday was Easter. Monday, it was here at my house at like 1 o'clock. So you can't beat that. I mean, Lancaster has fast shipping. So sometimes their stuff is probably 2% more than your average place, but they get it here quick. So that's worth something. My wife will be happy to see her bow back together. Here she comes now. Like I say, it wasn't a complete dry fire. So if it was, I would have been a little more worried about it. But like I said, she did have an arrow on it, and we were actually videoing it, so we saw exactly what happened. Sometimes you don't know what happened, you know? She shot it, and I said, "What'd you do? Forget to put an arrow in it?" She said, "No, I had an arrow in it." I said, "I don't think you did." And then we went look back on the camera, and sure enough, she had a big old coat on, and that arrow just hit the coat and just flew out. Not the arrow, the string. The string hit the coat, and it just flew out. And yeah, we found the arrow in the snow. It was actually snowing that day. Snow on the ground. So yeah. Now we got to press. And I need to redo some of this stuff on her bow too. This is the first bow I set up 100% myself. Because the bow shop we bought it from were complete assholes. And that's one of the reasons I bought a press, because every time I go to the bow shop, I am never happy with the service. Never. Now I don't have to worry about that anymore. We're getting a draw board at the end of this week. The draw board attachment. So we can check our timing, do our timing, cam lean, all that stuff. And then after that, the next thing on the list will be a bow vise. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to have some more videos. I should have my bow back in a couple days. And we'll make a video when we press the Hoyt. So, see you soon, guys. Peace. All right, we just fixed the bow. We're going to take our first shots with it and see if it works. Good job.
Where did that even go?
I can't see it. Let's see. We'll zoom in on it. It's low, so you need to use the pin below it. Good. That's almost to the bullseye. Good job.